Welcome. Hope you had a good weekend. It's Monday, and we're going to take care of this guy right here, get this out of the way. It's the officer's lounge. I have some sheet styrene here of the .03 variety. We've cut it up and sanded and come up with this piece, which we're going to put roughly right there. So let's get going with that. Because this is PLA, and I have no idea if glue even works on it, we're just going to use CA. So let's get a little CA out here. That was a public service announcement that I'm new to 3D modeling and don't know my materials and their properties as well as I should. An admission of guilt. So, okay, so we got some glue, and let's get a little bit of that going. And then we're going to put this piece roughly right there, and do a little capillary action. Hopefully this works. This is my $200 officer's lounge. Well, probably $250. I can't remember what I paid for that 3D printer. But this is the only piece I have ever made that I'm actually using on a model. So we'll put a little zip kicker on there. And I'll cross my fingers that this actually worked. All right. It's a little soft. I'll give it a couple seconds here. Put a little more in the corner. I'm using that super thin CA glue. Oh yeah, okay, so that firmed up real good. So if we take this and put it in here, I'm not sure. This is probably going to be a useless gesture. All right, gotta back you up. Let's see if we can. Well, I'm not even sure if you can see that. Nope, sorry. I should have thought out this camera angle a little bit better. I think that works though. So next step is to, I gotta wire in a SMD into that area, and we can judge the results from there. So not wanting to spend too much time on this officer's lounge, I added four little pieces of sheet styrene, extra little pegs, and I painted them a burgundy color and sat them around the bar in a curved surface. We've primered this and given it some gray color, and we'll just go with this. Monday continued. We're working on seams. Got a little putty down. Tail looking good there. So we did get the second nacelle put together. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. The second thing, which I've been doing off camera just to save you the irritation of the noise, was getting all the windows all drilled out. And this is, I think I mentioned, it's handling this with a Photoetch piece from the Paragraphic set, taping it down, getting the good old Dremel out with the number 65 and having at it. And we got almost all the way around. Got this side too. And then the Dremel petered out right there. So we got, basically take this piece here and just keep moving it around. I think I used it 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 4th time, and then the 5th time will be right across here. And it's a God-given miracle for this Photoetch to drill these windows. I just have to say that. All right. So here we go. Light blocking. Let's tackle this primary hull here. Got a little primer on there. We'll take a look at that later. But the big thing is we got the inside of both of the primary hull light blocked, which was a process of clean the plastic with Dawn dishwashing liquid, and then we hit adhesion promoter, and then black spray paint, and then white spray paint, and then we are where we are. And as you can see, it's not perfect, but this is the inside of the model. I don't want it to be perfect. In fact, I want it to be as quick as possible. So now, let's back up into a little planning for lighting. And you're not going to go that way, are you? Oh, there we go. All right. So let's figure out where we're going to lay our light strips down. And as you can see, we've got a lot of holes right in this general area. So let's just draw, and I'm just using a pencil here, which doesn't seem to be even penciling. There we go. Let's put a strip there. I don't even know if that's coming through on the camera. Hopefully it is. We also have, so we'll do the same thing on the other side here, which is, let's see, it's kind of off camera. We're going to do roughly from here to here. These are just rough pencil marks, just where we can, just planning where we're going to put LED strip light. In fact, it might be easier just to follow the saucer around. So we got light strip going to here, and then the next group of lights is here, so let's just put a line there. Same thing with here. Strip there. Same one with this. Boom. So we got kind of rough layout of where we're going to lay down strip lighting. And this is, we're going to mount it to this surface and point it up because it will reflect on this and sort of bounce the light around. So we're not doing fiber optics or anything crazy like that. We're just going to do that with these LED strip lights. Internally lighting this surface. We'll deal with the any light leaks or anything like that to seal it all up. The last piece is we got to kind of deal with this metal section, because we do have the hull here coming down on the top like that, and we have these sort of front-facing angled lights that go along here, and it's roughly at the angle piece, this angle piece right here. So let's back up a couple of steps and say we need lights right there, and we also need lights in the same capacity on the other side, about right there, to about there. So now we're looking for strip light, and I just dug through my drawer, and here we are with this. And if I labeled it correctly, it's a it's a double density cool white LED strip. Double density because they have basically 3 lights per inch, and cool white because of obviously the color. So let's test this. I'm just attaching, I got 12 volts going on the power supply here, and I got positive connected. You just connect to these little dots here. There's a plus side and a minus side, and they all got resistors. Like, for example, there's a resistor right there. You caught it in the wild, and we'll just connect this up to one of these, and there we go. So that's exactly the color I'm looking for, and the camera probably freaked out because we're doing this and the aperture is freaked out. But anyways, okay, I'm not going to screw with that. So we got the right LED strip going here. I think this will cover the cost of the whole model in terms of length that we need, and on to the next step. Okay, so we're measuring this out and getting our cutters ready. So we want to, sort of following our line here, we want a strip of light from here to here to cover this embankment of lights. And it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 segments. So we'll just put that right there. And then you got to remember, when you're cutting this stuff, only cut it where you see the little scissor mark. I don't know if you can see that. Right there. Don't cut any of these in between. You can only cut it where there's the line and the copper and the scissors. Otherwise, you'll break the circuit. So let's cut this. And we're just going to continue that all the way around and mount these and then super glue. Okay, so let's glue this stuff down. We're just going to, this is sort of, what is it? Medium. It's not thick and it's not thin. It's medium. It's just right. We're just going to hit this right at very strategic areas here as I stick my finger to the towel. Just going to draw, I don't know, I think you can see that. This is the just in case, JIK. It never comes loose. So there's the super glue. And now we've got zip kicker, although called something else by this particular company. And I usually just take this out with the little dealy bob.
Herbert.
Yes,
Herbert,
that's a word.
Herbert.
Oh, stop it.
Herbert.
And just hit it. All we're trying to do is just, this is called sloppy gluing. We're just trying to do this so that the strips never come up ever again. There's no question. And I'll just do this all the way around. But I won't make you watch. Okay, so welcome to a solder segment. We need to connect these wires, a number of them, throughout the LED strips to connect each other. And so we're going to go through some basic soldering here. These are two of the wire wrapping wires. A lot of wires in there. And the process here is called tinning. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our soldering iron and we're going to take a little solder and we're going to add a little solder right there. I don't know if you can see that. We're also going to add a little wire a little solder right there. And that's going to help us when we get to connecting them, which is upcoming. Okay, the next step is tin the other side. So we're going to be connecting the wires we just prepared to this. So we can get a little more light here. Sorry should have done this at a time, but there, okay, the soldering iron's much more sexy with the light here. So what we got to do is get a little solder onto these two little pads. These represent the minus and the plus. Let me clean this off. It's an embarrassingly dirty soldering iron. So what we're going to do is touch the soldering iron to there and then add a little solder. Let it melt. And then it usually forms a little ball. Just like that. Okay, that was perfect. This rarely happens on camera, but it was perfect. And so let's do the same thing for the minus side. We're going to rest our soldering iron for just a moment on there and then apply solder, let it melt, and then it should collect on that pad. Need a little bit more. Okay, so now you can see we've got two connectors here, and we're going to take the two wires that we just saw previously, trim them very short so we don't have a lot of exposed metal, and connect them in what will be the next segment. Hang by, stop, wait, okay, whatever, okay. Don't be a soldering phobe, just practice. So we have our wire and we have our solder contact, and now we're just going to, the trick here is to melt the solder ball, stick it in, and then remove and let it harden. So we're going to melt the solder ball right there, stick it in, and remove. And now I can literally grab this and give it a good tug, and it's in. We're going to do the same thing for negative. We come in from this angle. The shadow is terrible. Sorry about that. And we'll just melt this, stick it in, remove, let it harden. Sometimes you got to blow on it. And now, as you can see, it's stuck. That's what we got so far. And it's just a matter of following all these around and connecting them, and then that's kind of our main 12-volt power. This is the ship. It's on. It's the main switch, and it's obviously not the flashers or the chiller grill or anything like that, but we just connect all these. Also, any other sort of, we got to deal with these lights in here, which will probably be an upside down piece of plastic that lights those up, and then also lights the other side of that, which is going up, the bridge and B and C deck and that sort of thing. So that's where we are. So the rear part of the ship here has quite a bit of Photoetch going on with it. And it's mainly the two shuttle bays and impulse engines, and then also there's these details down here and sort of these corner assemblies. So let's start off with the, and these are all being applied to this one piece, which is number, there's no cheating on this one. I don't know what number it is, but it looks like this. So there's two cutting templates provided right here. And what we need to do is these two holes need to be expanded. Let's use that word, expanded. And so I just made a copy of this. These are the original instructions onto a piece of paper here. And I cut it out. And then we had the two. So here's the one. And basically cut out the inside of the cutting template. And now I've affixed it to the back of this hole. So now we have this area that needs to be cleaned out with a file. And so I'm just going to take my Sharpie here, super fine point, and just roll it around right on the edge here. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. There's plastic detail on the back here, which is actually not until step 2 of these instructions. There's some plastic or some triangle details that go here and here. And we just need to sand those completely off because there's a Photoetch brass parts that replace those, which have a little more detail. I just took some pretty aggressive grit and just sanded her smooth, and that's how we did that. Can you believe it's Friday? Oh my God. So it's been a busy week, and what do we have here? We've got, okay, so part number 10 in this model, and I'm just using their number, is now the Nemesis. So part 10 is here. In fact, we're just going to red letter this. This is part number 10. And it's a total downer. Oh, all right. That even screwed up. All right. So there's a lot going on here, and I get it. This is the Nemesis moment when you have a piece, perhaps a fuselage that won't go together, or wing root that doesn't come together, or whatever you're working on. But there's Photoetch here, which you had to drill out. I'm going to kind of, let's zoom in on that. So that was, this area right here was solid. So we had to drill that out. And then also, when putting the Photoetch on the back end of this, reduce the level so that the thickness of the brass would match with the level of the styrene. And then there was the shuttle holes, which, I don't know where it went. But there was a template that we had to drill out. We had to basically make these shuttle bays bigger. I'll back up here. Make the shuttle bays bigger. Oh, here it is right here. With this little template. Put that over there, drill that out. You saw all this. And then scuff off all the triangular shaped stuff here because that's going to be replaced with a Photoetch part. But this piece, just because of, when you test fit, it's like, okay, this doesn't fit. And then you're like, okay, how do I fix this? And you start grinding here and there, grind. And that's not even counting the grinding to just get the triangle pieces off, or get the grinding out of here, or the grinding there. And then it's like, oh my God, we're into, grinding is like a philosophy. It's like, no, I don't want to grind first thing. I gotta, maybe grind coffee, but I don't want to do this first thing in the morning. I'm pausing here. This seems like a political statement. I don't want to rise and grind, at least in a political sense. This, I don't even know how to respond to this. I'm not even sure what grind refers to in this context, but maybe I need to subscribe to this. I need to keep my grind right. Who knows here? Comment about this. These are just quotes about grinding. Actually, this one seemed like the most appropriate. It's not speaking to material being removed, but it does describe the action. So let's go with this one. And so we're just going to keep on moving along with part 10 here. We're not going to lose focus, and we're not going to lose excitedness for this project. Oh, there you go. Maybe we will. Okay, no, we won't. But anyways, so that's where we are at the end of week. Oh my God, I think it's 5. And we had a couple of fix-ups thanks to soldering iron messing up plastic from earlier in our little session here. But let's go with that. And appreciate anything like a thumbs up or a like, or even if you're feeling crazy, do a subscribe. And geez, I'll buy you an ice cream cone. I'm not sure how, but I'll do it. But anyways, happy modeling, and take care, and we'll head into the next week. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.